I want to learn more about stock options.
You have $74,000 worth of debt. You can't go play with stock options.
Eventually, they just took the car.
That is the worst thing you could have said to me right now.
I couldn't afford paying for that car.
So you have $5,000 loan for vending machines right now. Another DoorDash for $22. They said it was only one time.
My name is Kiki. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I'm 21 years old. I'm in school studying in business administration. I'm a basketball player. I consider myself a multi-hyphenate because I do everything entertainment.
Awesome. So you're a basketball player, you're in college, and you're working. You're doing it all right now.
Yeah, I just do it all. I'm in my last year.
You also work on the side. Sounds like you just got off night shift. What do you do for work?
I work at Amazon. Yeah, it's just such a crazy job.
At the warehouses, stocking shelves, picking orders, packing orders.
Yeah, packing orders.
And how much you make a year at Amazon right now?
I just kind of started, but I would say roughly like 35.
Okay, so you're making about $17 an hour?
17, 18. They just upped it like $1. So it's like, yeah, 18.
Okay, so about $36,000 a year. And how long have you been doing that for?
Since June.
And what made you start working at Amazon in June?
I mean, the money is good. And even though it's very tedious, it's paying every week and everything that I have to do, I need the money right now. So, yeah.
And you're also going to college right now. So you're taking a full course load at the same time and you're playing basketball?
Basketball is on hold right now because certain things I have to take care of. But yes, I decided to, due to personal reasons, I am online and I'm taking my courses online.
And so you'll be done in May. Will you be done now?
Yes.
And what are your goals come graduation?
See, I want to, like, by graduation, I want a bunch of bookings and go overseas, but I don't know. I'm just working day by day to see how realistic that is.
And going professional in any sport, not an easy path to take. How would you define your current financial situation on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would say it is a 0.
Putting yourself at the bottom. So it's only up from here then. If you're rating yourself at a 0, it's only up from here. And my goal is let's figure out how you get up from a 0 then. If you're currently rating yourself a 0, I want to do a check-in with you in 6 months or 12 months from now, and you're at least a 5 or at least a 7, somewhere in that ballpark, because it's going to take time to figure out your financial situation, but everyone in this world has the opportunity that we have in the world to make money, to save money, to live below your means, and let's kind of figure out what steps you can take to improve your current financial situation, because I don't think you want to live at a 0 for the rest of your life, and I don't think anyone watching this that also considers himself a 0 wants to live like that for the rest of their life.
Right. 100%.
Let's talk about that in more detail. So what debts do you have currently?
I kind of forgot. I have, Jesus.
I have them in front of me if you want me to read them off.
Yes, you could go ahead.
Student loans. We have $60,000 worth of student loans. We have credit cards. You put $300, and we have car loan for $9,100. Does that sound right? And is there anything else on top of that? Has any of that changed since you last sent this to me earlier this week?
Oh, no, that's all.
So that means we have $69,400 worth of total debts. And then in terms of savings and investments, you put $268 there. Is there any other money right now, or is that all like in your bank account right now?
That's all in the Roth.
Okay, that's in a Roth account. Okay. And how much do we have in savings or in your bank account right now?
0.
Okay.
I put everything, all my investments is all in like cryptocurrency and like Roth.
Okay, and how much do you have in crypto right now?
I think like $100, and then it was like 200 something, 250 for Roth. No, it was like 50. No, sorry, it was $50 for crypto. It was with Ethereum, and yeah, she knew, and then I had the Roth was growing on its own, because I haven't invested in the Roth in like 2 years, and then it grew on its own. It was like $250.
Between investment accounts, you have $100 in crypto, $268, and your Roth, so about $368 there. That puts your net worth right now at negative $69,000. So definitely some work that we need to figure out. What is your path forward? How do we get out of this? Because that number scares me, and it probably scares you. Seeing that, but you're young, you're in college. So let's figure out a plan to get out of that. How does that sound?
Absolutely. Yep.
Let's talk about the student loans and the car loan first. So student loans, is this accumulative last 4 years? Are you in your 4th year of college and you're just taking out loans every single year?
Yeah, most of it would have been higher, but most of it is with scholarships. So it's low because I had scholarships and Pell Grants and everything like that. So by the time I graduate, it's probably going to be under 100K.
So you still have to take out more loans for next semester, you're saying?
No, yeah, but it's going to be lower because I'm home. For the past 3 years, it was higher because I was on campus living and I had to, pay for housing, room and board and everything like that.
Okay, so it shouldn't go much above the $60,000 right now, you're saying then?
Yeah, it shouldn't.
Okay, good. Do you know what your interest rate on that is when, I'm assuming it'll kick in 6 months after you graduate?
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I have to look back at the FAFSA.
I would definitely recommend, especially after this call, Frank, I would look and just make sure you understand what your interest rate is on that. Understand kind of what your monthly payments would be when you do graduate next year, and start figuring out what is your plan to kind of attack the student loans, because you want to just make sure you understand your entire financial picture even before you graduate. I know they're not accruing interest, or they shouldn't be accruing interest before you graduate. Typically, they wait till 6 months after your graduation to start that. But it's always good to understand kind of where your finances are, what those monthly payments look like, what that interest rate looks like, so you can start educating yourself, start kind of figuring out a plan to attack those after that. And then we have a car loan, $9,100. What kind of car do you drive?
I don't drive anymore, but that was my car was taken, and that was how much I would have to pay off the whole car. Yeah.
So it was repoed?
Yeah.
And that was due to missing car payments?
Yes.
And what kind of car were you driving?
It was a Honda Accord.
Okay, and what was your monthly payment on it prior to getting repoed?
$420.
And how long did you have that car?
A year and a half.
So you made payments for about a year and a half on it, and then not making payments, and it got repoed after a few months? Or what happened there?
Yeah, it was like a whole big thing because I had jumped from job to job, and like the jobs were not paying enough, so like I couldn't afford paying for that car, and then eventually they just took the car.
Okay, so how many months, I guess, was it prior to getting repoed that you're missing payments?
6 months.
6 months, okay. How do you get to work right now?
I Lyft.
You take Lyft to work, okay. And it doesn't sound like the most cost-effective way in the world. How much you spend on Lyft a month?
That's a good question. I would say 200 times 4, that is like $800.
$800 a month on Lyfts? That's a lot. Okay. We'll dive into that kind of as we go along and go through your monthly budget and spending. That's not a small amount, and that's twice what your car payment was. How much was the car that you bought? How much did you buy it for? The Honda Accord?
$16K.
$16K. Do you know what your interest rate on that was?
14%.
14% interest rate on the car loan?
Yeah. So I was paying on time, and my interest, it was affecting me so much. I was not paying for the car. For the car, I was paying the interest.
No, I mean, yeah, having a $16,000 car at 14% interest rate is just you're not going to make any headway on that in the first couple of years. I mean, looking at just a brief amortization schedule, I mean, in the first year, you'd be paying over half of it probably towards interest, which is not a fun sight to see by any means. What made you go out and finance that car a year and a half ago?
I had two cars that were not leased, but they were lemons, and then I needed a car quickly because I was going into my second year college, and then my mom helped me get the car, and it was my first time leasing a car. And so given that this is my first time leasing a car, I did not understand like this in a high interest rate could affect car payments and everything like that. So given that, like, me trying to like trade in a car and everything like that, the company, they were telling me you can't trade in the car, you haven't had the car long enough. And then when I had the car long enough, they were telling me, well, the interest, I'm not understanding it because I never leased a car before. All these things I've never gone through before. I'm young and I'm not understanding.
So clarify, you financed it, you didn't lease it?
Yes.
Okay, so you financed the vehicle, but yes, I mean, since you took out a $16,000 loan, it sounds like, to buy the car, you're then on the hook for that $16,000. Yeah, 14% interest rate on car loans. I mean, in the last couple of years, car loans have been historically pretty low in like the 2 to 4 range. A lot of them had 0% APR, at least new cars did. Now interest rates have risen, and interest rates on car loans can be 7 to 15% now. Granted, I'm assuming because of your credit score, because of your age, they gave you an extremely high interest rate on this. But that can also it's demoralizing looking at it too, because if you pay $400 a month, probably only $100, maybe $50 is going towards the principal, and a lot of it's going towards interest. I was looking at a friend's loan, $60,000 loan. It's a 10-year term, I think, and he's got a 10.5% interest rate on it, and like only like $10 or $15 is going towards principal on it. Everything else is going towards interest. It's a little bit different because it's a HELOC. It's really interesting just to look at loans to understand them. When you have a higher interest rate, so much money is going towards interest versus towards the principal. And even with buying a house at a 3 or 4% interest rate, probably the first couple of years, 60-70% of your payment is going towards interest. It's not going towards principal. And as you get to higher interest rates, like 14%, so much more of that is going towards interest than principal, which there's a lot there. So that car was taken how long ago?
January.
Okay, so you've been the last 9 months without a car, taking a lift every single month.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so that's probably, you spent probably about $10,000 on lifts between now and then, over the last 9 months. Then it sounds like.
Yeah.
Let's figure out what we can do here. So I guess the last thing, credit cards. Are you carrying a balance on your credit card right now? Because you put in the budget $300 in debt for credit card. Are you carrying a balance on that, or are you paying your credit card off every single month?
I'm carrying a balance right now because I had to use that credit card for a business reason. So I'm waiting to pay it off. I have to pay it off.
Are you getting paid for that, or?
I had to use the credit card to pay off business insurance, but I'm gonna pay, because usually that credit card I always pay it on time.
Yeah, because carrying a balance on a credit card is it's even worse than 14% interest. It's usually 20-30% interest rates on those, and it's a hard cycle to get out. Even worse than a 14% interest rate. If you pay $100 on your minimum payment on credit card, probably 20 of that's going towards principal, the rest is going towards interest. And what I tell people is, if you ever carry a balance on a credit card, don't use a credit card, because it's going to cause you to spend money that you shouldn't be spending. Because it's a lot easier to swipe a credit card and say, oh, I'm going to pay it off in 40 days, 30 days, whatever the statement ends, versus if you have a debit card or paying with cash, then you actually have to have that money physically in your bank account to use it. And it's going to make you second guess decisions that you're spending versus just swiping a credit card and it being a lot easier to do. So as we kind of go along, we'll kind of talk about credit cards, about debit cards, what works, what shouldn't happen. But given your current situation with all the debt, I would personally suggest is, hey, let's just use a debit card. And if you don't have the money in your bank account, then you shouldn't be shopping. You shouldn't be buying X, Y, and Z. And that really will make you second guess. And statistically speaking, you will spend less money on a debit card than you will on a credit card, because you have to think about it. You have to check your bank account, make sure you have money in there. And it's a lot harder to overspend on a debit card than it is a credit card. So that'd be my first suggestion to you, is if you find yourself in financial, whether that's Kiki to you or anyone watching the shows, if you find yourself in a situation living paycheck to paycheck, stressed about money, and you have a credit card, you're carrying a balance on it, or you're close to carrying a balance on it, just cut it up, or at least put it in the freezer and see if you can go 90 days without using the credit card. Because I can promise you, if those 90 days, if you're not using the credit card, your spending will slow down. You'll be more cognizant about what you're spending money on, and you'll realize that you don't necessarily need a credit card to survive. So that's one suggestion I'd have to you and anyone else watching, is if you're carrying a balance, or if you ever paid interest on your credit card, lock it away in the freezer, put it in a drawer, don't have it in your wallet, and see if you can go 90 days, 60 days, 120 days without using it, and you'll see drastic changes in your spending habits. What do you think about that?
I think that's really good. I don't really use my credit card for any reason, because I don't really believe in credit card using, because 10 out of 10, I always use my debit card and everything like that. But I only use my credit card because I didn't have the funds in my bank account to pay off a certain thing. But because a certain deal is going through with a business I have, that's why I end up spending the credit card.
But that also can start a never-ending cycle of, oh, I'm going to do this because of this might be happening, or this should be happening. And then you'll find yourself carrying a balance on a credit card more and more. Because once you open that gate a little bit, the floodgates will start to open up more and more. And so my point is, if you find yourself, and right now you're finding yourself carrying a balance, is let's close that floodgate completely by putting the credit card in the freezer and not open it up, because you've opened it up a little bit right now. The next month, something happens and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to do a little more. The gate's going to open up a little more. The next month, more. Then you're going to find yourself 5 months from now with $5,000 worth of credit card. So my point is just, let's stick to the debit card, which you said you've been doing, and that will just keep you from spending money that you shouldn't be spending.
That's true. Discipline.
And once you give yourself an inch by putting that one transaction on the credit card, for whether it's for business or whether it's for personal, it just is opening up that gate. And my, I guess, second point is, if you being an actor, model, with that, you need to kind of separate your expenses too from personal and business, because that way you're not digging through at the end of each year when it comes to tax season. If you have business expenses for that or you work with a CPA and they're able to be written off, you just need to make sure those are separate so that you're not going through your Lyft things for personal reasons to get to work or shopping or food or whatever it might be, groceries, and having to dig through those and figure out what are business expenses, what are not. So I suggest just opening up another bank account, get a debit card for that, and run all your expenses through that to make sure that you can, at the end of each year, you can just download those statements, download those files, and have all your business expenses there. And you don't have to go and open up a new LLC. You don't have to open up, if you're running all as a sole proprietor, that's completely fine to do, but it just allows you to separate stuff so that come tax season, you know that, hey, everything on this account is for business and everything on this account is for personal. So you don't have to be diving through hundreds of transactions to find that one transaction that was for business reason. So just a word of advice on that as well. Okay, so let's kind of dive into your monthly expenses. So we have, you put on the sheet, $630 in gross income, $400 in net income, which sounds like you're making more money than that right now at Amazon.
Yes.
So what does your typical paychecks look like from Amazon? And you said you get paid weekly.
Usually it's around like $630 if I don't pick up shifts. If I pick up shifts, it's around like $900.
Okay, so $600 every single week. So you're getting paid at least $600 4 times a month?
Yes.
Okay. Anywhere from $2,400 to, if you're hustling, to $3,000, $3,500 is coming in if you're picking up shifts.
Yeah.
So that's a good start. You pick this up in June and good income, because right now, I guess looking through your expenses, you currently don't have anything for rent. You're living at home, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no housing expenses, no car expenses because you don't have a car. You are paying $800 a month in Lyft, it sounds like. So groceries, you're not spending any money on groceries a month?
No.
And then we have subscriptions, $25. We have eating out, $20. You're only spending $20 a month eating out right now?
Yeah. I barely eat out. Like, I only eat what's in the house.
Good. Ways to save money is personal care, we have $0, health and fitness, $15, and then travel, $150 a month. So you only put $210 worth of total fund money on the sheet, and then the Lyft is $800. That brings your total expenses to $1,010 a month, which you're making $2,400 a month. That should leave $1,400 plus anything from overtime hours left at the end of each month. But you said you have $0 in your savings, but you've been working this job since June from Amazon. So what's happening there? Where's all this money going?
It just stays in my checkings account.
How much is in your checking account right now?
I'll have to check. I have not checked it.
Because right now I see on August 21st August 22nd you had $83 and you got paid from Amazon. And then on September 20th you had 8 cents in there.
Oh, sorry. Because I'm always going somewhere, but it's always for good reason.
There's always a good reason. There's always a good reason for something, but it must not be a good enough reason if you're at, on September 19th, you had negative $9.92 in your bank account. That's not a spot I want you to be in.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Like, what trips are you taking right now?
These are business trips. I had to go to Miami to shoot my agent. I had to go to Miami to shoot my agent for my portfolio.
How much did that trip cost you?
$600.
Is there not someone in the Orlando area that could shoot your portfolio or find
the agency is in Miami.
They require you to go there to take shoots?
Yeah, because they're literally 3 hours away. So I rented out the car, and I had to pay the agency for the portfolio. And yeah.
How much did they charge you for the portfolio?
$550.
So you had to pay for the car and there. Did you go there just for the day, or did you get a hotel?
It was just for the day.
And is this a new agency you're working with, or what's the reason for a new portfolio?
It was a new agency I was working with.
What happened to the old one?
I have others, but it's a new agency that I acquired.
We'll dive, I guess, a little more into the monthly spending, but I guess at first glance, looking at this, when we have negative basically $10 in your bank account on September 19th, we got to figure out, okay, what truly matters right now? Because if you're making $2,400 a month, you don't have rent, don't have groceries, don't eating out. Your monthly expenses outside of Lyft are $1,000 a month. That's $1,400 a month that is disappearing if your bank account's going to zero basically before every single paycheck. So we'll kind of dive into those expenses and figure out what needs to be cut out. Stuff like a $500 portfolio and a rental car, stuff like that. That's something that, hey, we should probably put on pause for a few months and figure out, let's get an emergency fund built up. Let's start saving some money so that you can afford to invest in your business and invest in yourself. Especially if you have portfolios that are already created, if you already are working with other talent agencies. Let's talk about, I guess, your current spending. So on the spreadsheet, we had $800 in lift expenses and then $210 in other expenses. So I'm still lost a little bit where all this money goes. And so we'll go through the different transactions. But based on what you said of making $600 a week from Amazon, that's $2,400 a month with $1,010 in expenses. That means $1,400 left over should be sitting there. Obviously, you said last month you had $550 portfolio shoot. You spend another $300, it sounds like, getting to Miami and back. So it's $800. So that would still put you at $600 left over then of each month. But just 5 days ago on September 19th, we had negative $10 in your bank account. So that kind of shows that something is not adding up on this spreadsheet in terms of your spending and where your budget is, or the income's lower than expected, or there's just a lot of expenses that are not accounted for. Do you budget your money ever? Do you ever track your spending? Ever analyze how much you spent last month on eating out or groceries or just anything in general?
Yes. I just started doing that. Like, the food truck outside of Amazon, they charge like the airport. So I just started to stop doing that and just take food from home because they charge too much. They charge $10 for a hot dog.
Not cheap. So budgeting your money, do you use like a website or a platform or Excel spreadsheets, or how do you track your spending right now?
Oh, that's what you mean? No.
If you're not intentional about your money, you're not tracking your spending, it's very easy to just disappear. And I know when we first chatted, you said you're living paycheck to paycheck. You put that on your guest form, and a lot of the issues and conversations I have with people is they're living paycheck to paycheck, but they don't track their spending. And the issue with that is if you're not intentional about your money, if you don't know where it's going, it's going to disappear. It's going to go away because you're going to swipe that card on Amazon's website. You're going to swipe that card eating out. And those $10, $20 transactions are going to add up quickly. Unless you're very intentional, unless you're very mindful of where every single dollar is going, it's going to go out the door just as quickly as it went in. And in this instance, with you, for example, you're bringing in $2,400 with very minimal living expenses outside of the lift that you're currently taking to work. You should have money left over at the end of each month. And you should have money in your savings account. You shouldn't be in a spot where you're overdrafting on your bank account like you are right now. So let's kind of go through some of these transactions, and I'm sure we're going to uncover some different transactions that might not be necessities. That's what I'm kind of identify. What are some transactions here that we could eliminate and think twice? And if you kind of track your spending, you'll open up your eyes of how much money you actually spend on Lyft, how much money you actually spend eating out, and some of those natures. So I'm going to start a calculator real quick on the side because I see a lot of Lyft transactions. So we're going to see if we're actually spending the $800 a month in Lyft or if it's going to be more than that. Okay, so I might have missed one or two, but I see 18 transactions for Lyft last month for $446. So a little bit less than that. It's still not good at all. But we'll go through the other expenses because I see also on here you made $642, you made $681. You made $533, you made $615. That is, and then $493. It's over $3,000 right there in the last 30 days. But you in the statement this week with $261 in bank account. So that means we spent over $2,000 last month. And I see a lot of Lyft transactions. I'm not going to read those out because we have 18 of them I counted for in here. What else do we have? We have, what is Jade Summer LLC, $95 on August 25th?
It was a makeup stylist for another shoot.
Did you get paid for that shoot?
Yeah.
Where's that income on here?
Huh?
How much money did you make from that shoot?
No, it's a freelance.
Yeah, how much money did you make from that?
It's a freelance. I don't get paid for that.
Why don't you get paid for it? Freelance work, you still get paid for it.
Not for this one.
So it's not freelance work, it's free work.
Yeah. I don't, but the good thing is I don't have to pay for the photographer. So basically it's just collaboration. So it's me and the photographer. I just pay for the makeup artist.
And is that used for your portfolio or what is that used for?
Yeah.
And so you spent $95 on that shoot, but then you also spent $550 you said on another shoot. So how many? I'm not in the modeling world. I'm not in the in that entertainment space. But like, why you need multiple different portfolios? Why you need so much time, energy, money spent into that?
So as a creative, sometimes you do things for free to add into your portfolio. So it's just like a book full of pictures, different pictures, and so agencies could see your different different pieces of like things that you did in the past and go from there. So say that I walked into like, I don't know, agency and I'm like, okay, so I modeled, here's my work, and I showed them my digitals and I showed them the different pieces I did in the past. It showed them, okay, so she could actually model, and they could go from there and see if they could actually sign me. So like, no matter if it's free, eventually it could be paid in the long run, because I had showed the agency that had signed me, and they actually liked the work that I did.
And so let's talk about, I guess, your modeling career right now. How much money do you make a month right now from modeling, and how much you projected to make this year?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I got booked twice for Chewy and what is it? Chewy and Oscar Mayers. But honestly, you basically you're your own boss. It's the same thing for acting. You're your own boss. So I don't know. You have to be in charge. You have the agencies to get the big jobs, like campaign shoots and all of those types of jobs. You could still have people reach out for like Fashion Week. There's New York Fashion Week, Harlem Fashion Week, Miami Fashion Week, Los Angeles Fashion Week. Those are runway shows. They pay you to walk in those shows.
But how much would you say you're making this year from modeling? Because it sounds like a lot of money's going in, but how much are you getting paid?
I don't know, but
Like
it's
ballpark $1,000, $10,000.
I can't tell you right now. I'm doing the groundwork first. Like, I'm being signed to all of them, but I'm doing the groundwork. It's like I'm taking baby steps all over again. Yes, I'm signed to all these agencies, but I'm doing the groundwork all over again. Like, I just got signed to a casting agency to help me get more commercial like jobs, but they want me to take acting classes so I could get my acting perfected, so I could be in front of the camera more. You have to, like, the best actors and actresses and models, it wasn't free for them to take it wasn't free to get to where they were.
Whether it's growing a business, whether it's growing your acting career, modeling career, you're going to have to invest in building your portfolio. You're going to have to invest in equipment for your company. If you're producing a product, you have to invest in different things. But the issue right now is we got $70,000 worth of debt right now, living paycheck to paycheck. All your money's flowing out, and that's just putting yourself in a further financial hole versus kind of helping build yourself up. So my point is like figuring out how to invest in your modeling career, invest in your career without carrying balances on your credit card, with having money saved up so that you can start paying off your student loans quicker than not. So you can start living and not feel like you have no money at the end of each month. I don't want you to be in a spot where you shouldn't be investing to the point where you have negative $10 in your bank account at any point. And if you have negative $10 in your bank account, that means you probably should have foregone that $500 shoot in Miami, or you should have stopped that $100 free makeup shoot in Orlando with a photographer and push that off for a month. But if you're spending $800 or $1,000 a month on your modeling stuff and you have negative $10 in your bank account at any given point, you're not putting yourself first. You're trying to put your career first, but that's just going to hurt you in the long term because you have no money. And what you should be doing is figuring out how can you save money every single month. You're only spending $1,000 a month. You can save $1,400 a month. You can start allocating, okay, $100 a month I want to put towards my modeling career, or $125, whatever that might be. But right now, when you have negative $70,000 net worth and all your money's going out the door towards modeling and no income's coming in is the biggest issue right now too, then you're just hurting your financial future. And I understand fully, got to invest in, you have to have a portfolio, you have to have proof of work and that. But if you already have portfolios with other agencies, if you already have another portfolio and you have a lot of prior work and then you spend $800, $900 going to Miami and do this other photo shoot, then that's just setting yourself further back because you spent $900 with no income coming in currently, because I don't see any income coming in, at least for modeling right now. So that's just my point, is like, I want you to invest in your future, invest in your aspirations and passions of modeling, but let's figure out a financial plan to do that. Let's start allocating, putting $100 a month in your budget that you want to put towards modeling. But if it's over $100, it's not in your budget, we're not going to do it, because you need to make sure you're not carrying a credit card balance. You need to figure out how to pay for this car so that you have a working car and you're not paying $800 a month in Lyft. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let's go through some of these other transactions. So you have the hair and makeup for $95 on August 25th. We have eating out for $13 or $14 on August 25th. We have a Greyhound bus in LA for $50. Did you go to LA?
I canceled that trip.
But you still owed $50 for the bus?
Yeah, that was to Miami, but I had canceled it.
Okay, that was, I guess it got rung up as Los Angeles. Maybe it's just where their processing is. And then we have more Lyft. We have a library charge for $10. More Lyft. Why are you DoorDash right now? $28.20 on August 29th for DoorDash. I thought you don't eat out.
That was just that one time. It was that one time.
That's what they all say. The one time.
My mom was, there was no food in the house. I was so hungry.
And then we got Cinemark. You spent $25 at the movie theater the next day.
I did.
$13 on, there's a $13 transaction, then an $11 transaction.
I didn't even remember that. What day was that?
August 31st.
Oh, it was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. That was my birthday. That's why I went.
I'm all for celebrating birthdays, but going into further debt. Granted, I guess at the time you had the cash pay for it, but you have a $300 credit card balance. It's just putting yourself in a further hole. And then you have a Cash App on August 31st for $80. What was that for?
It was a old makeup stylist in New York.
So another makeup right there. Was that from a previous trip?
Yes.
Okay. So $200 there. And then we have Quick Stop Box for $135. What is Quick Stop Box?
My business.
Your business? Okay, so you're selling money to your business account?
Yeah.
And what is that for?
It's for a business loan. So it's not a personal loan, it's a business loan.
So you took out a business loan on your business too?
Yeah, to get it started.
And what's that loan amount?
$5,000.
Okay, so that's not even on this debt sheet now then. What kind of loan is it?
What do you mean?
Like a line of credit? Is it just a personal loan through your business?
Yeah, it's a personal loan through my business.
And what's the monthly payment on that?
$135.
Is $135? Do you know what the interest rate on that is?
I know it's very high. I don't remember. I know it's high. That's why I don't miss no payment.
But why'd you have to take out a $5,000 loan to start your modeling career? If you're making $2,400 a month with Amazon.
I wasn't working at Amazon before.
So you didn't have a job and you took out the loan?
No, I wasn't working at Amazon before. I was working at a different job when I took out the loan. This was last year. This was last year that I took out my business loan because I started the business last year.
And so how much money has the business made then? Why are transactions for the hair and makeup stuff coming through your personal account when you have a business account? Or is a Quick Stop Box the loan company?
No, Quick Stop Box is my business, but I send money from my personal account to my business account. Yeah.
So why are the hair and makeup stuff coming through your personal stuff and not through your business account then?
Why is the hair and makeup? I don't know.
I don't either. That's what I'm asking.
I don't know.
Like, you want to have, if you already have a business account, you want to have that separate. Is my point. And you
want
to make.
I have a business account. It's a different account. It's Wells Fargo, but I send it Zelle to the I Zelle it to the different account.
Yes, but the business is for your modeling career, correct?
No.
What is that for then?
Vending machines.
So you have $5,000 loan for vending machines right now. So that's a completely separate business.
Yeah.
Okay, so we hadn't talked about that yet. I guess we'll talk about that in a second then as we go through. Because I did not know that there was the vending machine side of things. So we'll touch on that in a second. We'll go back to the transactions here. We've got more Lyft stuff. We have, looks like another eating out for $20. Jimmy Bears for $11. We have a Fusion Grill for $13. We have another DoorDash for $22. They said it was only a one-time thing for DoorDash.
See, I don't even remember.
That's $50 in DoorDash last month.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. I don't remember.
This is why you have to budget, because you don't know that you're spending this money on things and you're just swiping your card.
Yeah, that's great. I would not see this. I'm a changed woman. I would not do this no more.
We got Wendy's for $4. We have Groupon. Why'd you spend $91 on Groupon?
That was because of the hotel, but I thought I was going to be staying out there.
And then we got Turo for the $160. More Lyft. What is a Zelle payment for $150 to?
Oh, that was the makeup artist that's the $150 together. That was the makeup artist when I went to Miami.
And then the $400 is for the portfolio?
That was the agent. So together that's $550.
Then we got Burger King. We got 2 Burger Kings, and the second Burger King is what put you in a negative balance. And then we have a Cash App for $232 on September 21st. What is that for?
I sent my mom money.
Through these transactions, it looks like spending more. We currently have $20 for eating out. That's obviously not the case. We got DoorDash for $50. We have a bunch of Burger Kings. We have a bunch of Wendy's. So we're spending well over $100 on eating out. That's not currently on the budget. We have the $600 or $550 in the Miami portfolio, plus the $91 in the Groupon there, plus the Greyhound bus, $700 there. We have, well, what is this? I don't think I touched on this. What is this $500 Cash App Breezy?
I sent my friend money.
What was that for?
Because she was going to get evicted. So I just sent her money so she could stay in her place. Even though, yeah, I did.
It's a difficult situation to be in because you don't want to see your friend evicted. Given your current financial situation, when you're in the red in your bank account, the analogy, I guess, is you're putting other people's masks on before yourself. And that money right now, the odds, the likelihood of you getting the money back is probably very slim to none right now. Because when you loan money to friends, when you loan to family, two things are going to happen. One is they're not going to pay it back and it's going to destroy your relationship. Or two, they'll pay it back slowly over time, but it's still going to hurt your relationship. And it's very uncomfortable and a very difficult situation when you're loaning money to friends and family. You love them, you like them, whatever it might be, because they're friends or family, and getting money mixed, loaning out friends and family just creates a very difficult situation. So like what you should be doing, I guess, is like figuring out how can you help that friend get a job? How can you help educate her about her spending habits? How can you help her do different things to not get evicted? But loaning friends and family money when you're in a financial situation where you live paycheck to paycheck is just a very difficult situation to be in. So, and not smart for your betterment of your future. So I guess that's where all the money's going right now. We got the Miami trip. We got a lot. We got sending to friends. We got you send money to your mom for $232. We have a lot of Lyft. We have eating out DoorDash and more Cash App for the makeup artists, your loan to your business. But that goes to show, I mean, we have over $3,000 in income coming in and nothing to show for it at the end of the month. $3,000 coming in. We have $261 at the end of it. And that shows, okay, you need to be budgeting your money. You need to be tracking every single dollar that comes into your account. You should know off the top of your head, you spent $50 on DoorDash last month and you spent $80 other dollars eating out, or you spend however much on Lyft. Because if you don't track that, I can promise you a month from now, 2 months from now, you'll be in the same situation. You might be picking up more overtime shifts at Amazon, more money coming in, but it's going to go out just as quickly because you're not tracking where it's going. And that's a major issue because you're going to hustle. You're going to be working. You're making more money than you were last year. You're going to be picking up more hours, and the money's not going to be there to show for it because it's just going to be disappearing just as quickly when you don't track where it's going. So I'll send you some resources and tools to learn how to budget, what tools I use. Personally, I use mint.com. It's a free platform. I link my bank accounts, I link my credit cards, link investment accounts. And every single week I go in there, I look and see, make sure stuff is categorized correctly, change it if it's not. And I know, okay, my food budget is almost full for this month. And that means my wife and I were like, okay, our food budget's full, so we're not going to eat out this weekend. Or, hey, we know we're going on vacation. Let's try to be conservative on the restaurants we pick. We're not going to go to a nice restaurant. We're going to go get pizza so we can save money for a trip that's coming up. But that way we at least understand what's happening, where our money's going, and we can start saving and allocating money towards trips, towards saving for whatever it might be, for new shoes or clothes. That allows us just to be very intentional about money. So that's the first thing you need to do, is start tracking your money, because you should be having money left over every single month with your income, with no living expenses and very minimal other expenses outside of your Lyft payments right now. So
yes, that is totally true. You know what? I'm going to take this advice and run with it, because like, given that I should have more money than I'm spending, I need to budget more and I need to prioritize the things that I need rather than I want. So given the circumstances, what advice would you give to a young hustling woman that needs to like prioritize? Like, what advice would you give to?
The advice I'd give you right now would be, first and foremost, budget your money and put yourself on hard parameters. You set up these budgets that you sent me. If you can stick to those numbers, great. That's what I would be shooting for. You can adjust if you need $50 for eating out. Okay, adjust it to $15 or $50 eating out, and you'll have over $1,500 a month to start saving and start paying off this debt, whatever it might be. But budgeting first and foremost. Number two, income. Obviously, you have to take care of your school first and foremost. Make sure you're passing your grades, getting good grades, and graduating in May. Extra shifts that you can pick up so you can increase your income, I'd be doing that. Because right now we got 70, including the personal loan or for the business, we got $74,000 in debt. And that is not a small number to get out of. So you got to start changing your habits today to get out of that. Personally, suggest is like, I love following Dave Ramsey's method. I love people following that for getting out of debt. Some people debate it. Some people love it, but it's helped millions of people in America get out of debt. And I'll send you resources to learn it. But he teaches, first step is save $1,000 in your emergency fund. And then step two for paying off debt is do the snowball method. So that means pay off the lowest debt first, smallest amount of debt first, and then snowball it to the next debt, the next biggest one, the next one. So in your instance, we got $300 in credit card debt. That should be paid off by the end of basically next week. Your next two paychecks, $300, and he's going towards paying off this credit card debt, $300. And then after that, we have the $5,000 in personal loan. You should be putting at least $1,000 a month towards paying off these personal loans. And then after that, you'd be going after the car loan. And then after that, student loans. So he teaches pay the smallest debt first, and then the next biggest one, no matter the interest rate, because that helps you build momentum. That helps you get rid of minimum monthly payments, and that helps you start seeing progress. And psychologically, it's a lot more beneficial because you start seeing progress of, hey, I paid off one debt. I can do it to the next one. You pay off two. Great. Let's pay the next one. And you start getting momentum and you can be unstoppable at that point. It's like a snowball rolling down the hill. Start getting momentum, start getting bigger and bigger. And no one's going to be able to stop you by the time you get halfway down the hill. So that's what I'd say right now is you need to be budgeting your money and you need to start figuring out your course of action for paying off this debt. And I'll be using the snowball method to do that and do the credit card first, do the vending machine business loan second, do the car loan next, and then start attacking the student loans. During that time, you're still paying the minimum monthly payments on every single debt payment, but every dollar on top of that you can throw at it, you're throwing at the smallest debt first. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's what I would be doing. And right now you're in a fortunate situation. You're living at home and you don't have rent, you don't have a mortgage, you don't have any of that. And that allows you to be able to save more money to throw at debt. And then when it comes to your business, when it comes to the modeling, I understand you need a portfolio. I understand you need to showcase your work, but doing it at the expense of over $1,000 last month when you have at one point negative $10 in your bank account, you're not putting yourself first there. That's $1,000 that could be going towards paying off this credit card debt and going towards paying down these personal loans. So I would be, I'm not saying, hey, let's stop the modeling career. Let's figure out what you can do in terms of exchanging your time for and resources and talents for these photographers. Hey, I'll come shoot for you for free for your portfolio, but can I also use these for mine? And can you do your own hair and makeup for those shoots? But to spend $500 on find a new talent agency, to go to Miami, rent a car, to pay them $600 for a portfolio, that's just going to put you further behind, especially when you don't have income coming in from those opportunities right now. Does that make sense in that situation?
Yes.
And then on the personal, I want to talk about the business, the vending machine business. So what made you get into the vending machine business and what made you take out $5,000 for this business?
I always...
Don't say TikTok.
No, I actually was a huncho because I was always finding ways to make money. So when I found that it was vending machines, that was an easy way to make money. I immediately jumped on it and I figured it out. Like, I started, looking up ways to start a vending machine business. And then, this was like literally last year, and then, with me, when I start something, I want to go big or go home. Basically, I started it. I needed money to start. The money that was coming in was not enough because the money that I was making was going towards my car and my car insurance. And then I had to pay to stay on campus during the summer. So I didn't have money to go towards my vending machine. I had the resources, like I had the rapport to put my machines, but I didn't have the machine.
So let's talk about financials of this vending machine business. How much money does it make you every single month?
I'll say $300.
$300, and then what are your expenses on that? How much expenses do you have on that $300?
Just the snacks.
How much would you say you spend a month on that?
It's just one machine, so like $100 and something.
150, 120.
No, actually I like $250.
$250 on snacks?
Yes. No, actually I like $200.
Okay, so $200 on snacks. It brings in $300, and you spent the whole $5,000 buying that vending machine?
No, I had started with 3 machines. And 2 of them got vandalized, so I had to sell them. Hold on. I started with 3 machines. I had to sell 2 of them. So I got back, I sold them for $2,000. So I used the money that I got that I sold to pay off most of the loan.
Okay. And so how much is left on this loan now?
Paid $1,000. I paid $1,500. So it should be like $300 or something.
$3,000?
$3,000, $3,500.
This business isn't making you any money though right now.
It's still in the startup phase.
But right now you're paying money for people to come get snacks from your vending machine basically, because if you have $300 in income, you have $200 in snacks a month, but then you have $135 in your loan payment, you have $335 in monthly expenses, bringing in $300, which means you are paying $35 to have that vending machine right now.
I only have one machine.
But you're missing my point right now. That one machine is costing you $35 a month. You're paying $35 to have that machine right now.
Yeah,
which is not how you operate vending machine businesses.
Yeah, but I'm gonna
Don't tell me you're gonna get another loan and buy more vending machines.
No, I'm not gonna get another loan. I'm gonna put more machines out there that has more foot traffic.
But how are you gonna get those machines if you don't have the money to buy those right now?
Investment people that invest, angel investors. But yeah,
I mean, on the vending machine business, I don't know the ins and outs of vending machine businesses. My advice, what I'd give you on that is, one, it sounds like you need to make sure you have proper financial statements for it, so you understand where your expenses are, what your income is, and you understand, hey, this is how much money I'm making or I'm losing this month. In this instance right now, you're losing money. But figure out, how can you get that to a point that's making money, or how do you get rid of it and get the loan paid off? Because right now this thing's costing more money, and you're better off, instead of putting time into figuring out this vending machine business, is go pick up an extra shift at Amazon, an extra 3 shifts, and make $900 a week versus $600 a week. But this machine is costing you money right now, which is not a good way to operate. So that's my piece of advice. And then when it comes to the investor side with vending machines, I don't know how many angel investors invest in vending machines. I don't know how many people invest in those types of businesses. I don't know, especially at a smaller scale. So I would figure out, how do you get this loan paid off as quickly as possible? Because if you get rid of that $135 and you're bringing in $100 a month, I mean, that's $1,200 a year, which is an additional income for just your time. But right now, the way it's operating with that loan, you're losing money on it. So that's just something to think about and figure out, what is your path forward this? How can you make it profitable? How can you get rid of it? How can you decrease your expenses? How can you increase your revenue? But I would not sit here. Please do not go take out more loans for the vending machine business. Please do not do something, put on a credit card, stuff of that nature. But figure out, how can you improve this current financial situation, or how do you get rid of it?
Absolutely.
Because right now, the last thing I want is vending machine breaks and you have to spend $500 on that, or you go and buy a new vending machine when your personal bank account is in the red. And that's just not a sustainable future either for you. So you have to figure out, what is it you want? What are your priorities? Your priorities, the modeling stuff is your priorities. I mean, doing school, trying to run a vending machine business, trying to do modeling and Amazon, that's a lot of things. And you also have to take care of yourself mentally as well, and physically. Make sure you're sleeping, make sure that you're getting enough rest. So out of these 3 things, the vending machine business would be the first one, in my opinion, that would go, because you're losing money on it currently. And it's going to take a lot of capital to go buy new vending machines. So to be able to scale that up to a spot that's actually making money, you're going to make it $100 a month. You're better off getting one extra modeling gig, figuring out how to hustle and get that, or hustling and getting an extra shift at work. So just things to think about with that. So does that make sense?
Yep.
But I mean, I guess let's talk about, I guess, investing right now then. And what is your experience with investing? You have a Roth IRA, you have $200 in it. And you have some crypto. What is your experience? What are your goals for investing? Just tell me a little bit more about that.
I do want to eventually get a coach, financial literacy coach, but I used to I want to learn more about stock options.
No. That is the worst thing you could have said to me right now.
Hell no.
Yeah, you have $74,000 worth of debt. You can't go play with stock options.
Not now. I'm just talking about I feel like it's better to learn as much as you can.
Not about stock options.
Well, not now. I don't want.
No, not ever. I can promise you, if you play with stock options, you will lose money. Probably 95% of people that play with stock options lose money. And the only people that are making money are the people selling you courses to buy their course, to learn how to play with stock options. Those people are making money from their course, not from their stock options.
Dang. I used to do Forex.
And you lost money, I'm assuming.
No, I made money.
How much money did you make?
I made $1,000
in one day, or
one day, and this was 2 years ago.
And you quit after that?
No, I made I think but this was on fake accounts. But I mean,
okay, so it wasn't real, so it doesn't count.
But that means I could trade though.
No, it doesn't. I can promise you, day trading, Forex trading, stock option trading, you will lose money a lot quicker than you'll make any money.
I made $35,000 on Bitcoin.
What did you say?
When I was on the fake account, I made $35,000 on Bitcoin. That was fun.
And because you probably levered yourself 100x on the platform, and guess what? There's no risk with it because it's a fake demo account.
Yeah, but when I had my real account, I made $500.
So according to a study of the SEC, the US SEC, of Forex traders, 70% of traders lose money every quarter, and traders typically lose 100% of their money within 12 months.
They don't want nobody to win.
A study in Brazil of Brazilian day traders found that 97% of those people who did it for more than 300 days lost money, and only 1.1% earned more than the Brazilian minimum wage. And I wouldn't play against those odds. Best way to build wealth, in my honest opinion, is to I've tried the day trading game. I've tried day trading. I've tried single stocks. I've lost tens of thousands of dollars doing it. And I thought I was, in 2021, I was trading new companies that had IPO'd using SPACs, lost tens of thousands of dollars doing that. I thought I was like, oh, my friends are making money. Oh, this guy on the internet's making money day trading single stocks. Why can't I do it? And I learned the hard way that, hey, markets shift, things happen, none of it's in my control, and you lose money a lot quicker than you thought. I was up, there was one investment, I was up probably like 20 grand and was like, oh, this stock's up 3x from when I bought it. And guess what? 3 months later, it's down 80%. And guess what? When it's high, when it's going good, you don't want to sell because like, oh, it'll keep going up. I'll sell when it hits this dollar amount. And guess what? It'll get close and then it'll dive right before your selling point and you lose a lot of money that way. I realize I'm not Warren Buffett. If majority of hedge funds, if majority of people in Wall Street can't beat the S&P 500, why do I think I can beat the S&P 500 if I don't sit here and study financial statements like Warren Buffett does or anyone that's working on Wall Street? You said you wanted to get a financial coach. You said you wanted to learn about finances. One, that's one of the reasons I started this channel. So everyone watching this, I'm going to do a shameless plug, like and subscribe because trying to teach financial literacy, trying to teach people how to manage their money. But if you want to learn about finances, there's so many free resources out there, whether it's Dave Ramsey, who I think is a phenomenal resource on getting out of debt, budgeting, and his thought on investing is invest 15% of your gross income. And he says in mutual funds, I'm more a fan of, hey, index funds, set it and forget it. You can build wealth for the long term doing that. Or someone like Graham Stephan, someone like Ramit Sethi, Money with Katie, Personal Finance Club on Instagram. There's so many free resources that have quality content, and they're not selling you courses. The people that are making money that are free featured, they're not selling you get rich quick schemes. If someone's selling you a get rich quick scheme to buy trade options, to Forex trade, they are selling a hope and a dream. And 99% of their students do not make money from that dream that they're selling. My point is you don't need a finance coach to start learning. And I'll send you a lot of resources after this, people that I listen to on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and I've learned tremendously a lot from. But there's so much information out there to learn from. You just have to understand that if it sounds too good to be true, like stock options, it probably is too good to be true because a lot of people will lose money to that. So like, please just don't trade options. What you should be doing is educating yourself on investing in, you know what index funds are?
I heard of it.
Think of a single stock is like buying a share of Apple or buying a share of Amazon, but index funds are baskets of stocks. So if you're buying an S&P 500 fund, that means you're buying basically a basket of the top 500 largest companies in America. And you might own 5% of Apple, 4% of Amazon, 3% of another company, 2% of another company, 0.1% of another company, 0.2% of another company. But that way it de-risks you so you don't own all of a single company. Because if you look at the top 10 companies in America 25 years ago, there are companies that are in the top 25 now that did not exist 25 years ago. There are companies that were in the top 20, 25 years ago that are not in the top, a lot of them are not in the top 20 right now. And that de-risks you so you don't have to sit here and pick and choose the winners, but instead you're betting on the U.S. economy or you're betting on small cap companies, you're betting on mid cap companies, or you're betting on international companies. So it allows you to diversify your portfolio without over leveraging or over risking yourself in a single company that their CEO might make a bad decision and launch a product that doesn't sell and their stock plummets, or they do something and their financial situation next year goes south. So buying index funds is a way to build a lot of wealth over time. It's not going to be making $100,000 in a year when you're investing money in it, but it's going to start to compound time and time again, year over year, over time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're 21 years old right now. I would suggest figuring out and getting out of debt before you start investing, because that'll allow you to build a lot of wealth in the long term as you get your finances under control, get your spending under control, get your debt paid off. Then, okay, how do we get out of debt? Or now that we're out of debt, how do we start investing for the future? But you're 21 years old. Do you know how much money you'd have at the age of 67 if you invested $500 a month into index funds, averaging a 7% rate of return?
$1 million.
$2 million. And that's in today's dollars. I'm accounting for inflation. The average return over the last 50 years has been 10%. But I'm putting it at 7% to account for 3% inflation. If I put it at a 10% return, it's $5.8 million. $5.8 million is a lot of money. We account for inflation, it goes down to about $2 million. But $2 million is still a tremendous amount of money, and that's why I'm only putting away $500 a month in investments. And if you get out of debt, you pay off your car, if you pay off the personal loan, if you pay off your student loans, and you keep your expenses low, you can invest in your Roth IRA, max out every single year, and you'll have $2 million tax-free by the time you turn 67. And that'd be a phenomenal spot to be in.
Yep.
And that's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to hit $2 million overnight. In 10 years, it'll be $75 about. But then guess what? 40 years from now, 45 years from now, it'll be $2 million. And it takes a lot of time. The curve, it starts slowly going, and then it starts going up a lot, hockey sticking, but it's going to take a lot of time. But then also over the course of that, hey, how do you increase your income so you can invest more than $500? Maybe you invest $750 a month, and you got $3 million at that point. And that's, again, just shows the power of compound interest. You only contributed $414,000 between now and when you're 67, but it grew to it grew to $3 million. So it grew $2.6 million over that time period. And that just shows your money can start working for you as it slowly starts to compound, but it's not going to be hey, you're going to make $100,000 trading Forex overnight. But you're also not going to be risking all your money for something that 97% of people lose money on.
What about those people that trade Forex and they just let their money just sit there for days and years?
Trading Forex, anyone trading Forex I'm not a fan of it. I looked into it years ago. I saw a lot of people making money in Forex. They're making people posting screenshots on the internet, making tens of thousands of dollars a week, and just not something that I'm willing to risk money when I know the odds are 97% against me. I'm not a gambling man in the sense of I want to go, if my likelihood of success is 97% not being successful, I would rather not go that route. I'm not going to bet my future, my family's financial future on something that 97% of people are going to lose money on. I think that I'm a reasonably smart person, yes. But do I think I'm smarter than 97% of the world that are trading Forex? No, I don't. So I'm not going to take those odds.
Right. That is true.
Again, I'll send you a lot of resources after this too to start learning and educating yourself about money. But really, like right now, what I would want you to do is, hey, let's start budgeting your money, tracking every single dollar. Let's start cutting back on the model expenses, but let's hustle and figure out what can you do for free for people, exchange your time for that to build your portfolio. But you don't need to be spending $1,000 a month on that stuff right now. Not until income's coming in and that income is paying for that. 3, let's hustle with Amazon. Pick up as many shifts as possible. You're in college, you're young, you have energy to get out there to work hard now so that when you're 65, 70 years old, you don't have to be working at Amazon. That's not what I want. I want you to be able to build wealth and set yourself up for financial success like you want to do. Budget, cut expenses on things that are not necessities, hustle for work, and start paying off debt. I'd use the debt snowball calculator I'll send you over after, but start listing those debt payments, smallest to largest, and start attacking the smallest one, and the next one, and the next one. Start building momentum that way, and you will start seeing progress quicker than you think, and you will have money left over at the end of each month, which will make you feel better, not have negative $10 in your bank account, and allow you to, when you graduate, and whether you go and pursue your passions in Europe as a basketball star or modeling, or you get a job at another company, you at least have built habits over the next 9 months that are going to set you up for success when you start making more money to, hey, I'm going to make sure I'm living below my means. I'm going to make sure I'm not over leveraging myself by renting an apartment for $5,000 a month or financing a new car, whatever it might be. But you start instilling these habits in yourself now, you're going to be in a great spot 9 months from now. Yes, you're still going to have your student loan debt. You're still going to have some of these other debts, but you've at least started training yourself to make small adjustments, to start making better habits to drastically change your financial future. And you're lucky to have that opportunity right now when you're living at home. You don't have rent. You don't have $1,400 in rent or $1,200 in rent right now over your head. So let's take full advantage of that right now and start paying off this debt as quickly as possible so that when you do need to move out on your own, whether it's going to Europe or you go and get a job in a different city, that you have more cash flow because you don't have these monthly payments. And you're young and you have your whole financial future ahead of you. And if, say it takes you, we'll call it 2 years. So you're 23 when you can start investing because you've been focused on paying off debt. You start investing when you're 23, you put in $500 a month until you're 67, you still have $1.76 million at the time you're 67. If those investments return 7%, and that's still a phenomenal spot to be in. Yes, it's not the $2 million that would be if you start investing today, but we need to clear up this debt so you have more income disposable to be investing and to go and live on your own if you get a job in a different city.
True. I completely agree. I feel like after this call, I take this and I just want to run with it. Every single time I go into work, I don't even want to spend anything no more. I just want to accumulate. I just want to live below my means. I want to see the money in my account every time.
Yeah.
I want to see the money in my account. And yes, I want to continue to pursue everything that I have going on because I have a 5-year plan. anything that's I see that's a distraction that's not within my 5-year plan, no. But I totally understand. You can't operate without money. We have to budget ourselves. So yeah.
Well, Kiki, I really do appreciate your time on this call. And I know I'm excited that you want to take action. You want to change. And again, I'll send you a bunch of resources. I'm here to help. You don't need a financial advisor to pay you to teach stock options. Just email me and I'll give you my advice, or at least send you resources to people that are smarter than me that can help answer your questions. But that's why I started this, to help people like yourself learn about money, talk about money more. I was in your same shoes when I was younger and I didn't understand investing. I didn't understand this or that. And I got caught up in day trading or trading single stocks. And I learned the hard way. And that's, again, the point of the show is to learn from mistakes, learn from lessons, and just help the world become more educated about money. So I want to be a resource for you. I want to do a catch up in 6 months or 12 months from now. Maybe it's after you graduate and we see, okay, this is where Kiki is now. She's got a new job or she's pursuing her dreams in WNBA or overseas in Europe. And I hope that's where we are. But I hope also when we're there, hey, you've paid off your car loan, you've paid off your personal loan, you've paid off the credit card debt, and you're starting to attack the student loans. I hope that's a spot that we're going to be having that conversation 12 months from now. But we'd love to stay in touch and do a catch up so we can see, maybe it's 6 months from now, and see what action you've been taking and see the progress, because once you get going, you're going to be unstoppable. So
100%. I totally agree with you, Bailey.
awesome. Well, Kiki, thank you so much for joining today, and we'll chat soon.
All right. Thank you so much.